Only God could rescue me. Only God could set me free. Only God. Only God. Only God.
Hello, welcome to Only God Rescued Me. I'm Lisa Meister, your host, and I'm so glad that you are here. Today, I have a long anticipated interview with my dear friend, Lisa Gillard. Lisa, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad to hear that you could come. I've been waiting for, I don't know, how long have we known each other now?
5
Is it
years?
5 years? That's what I was thinking.
No, probably more actually.
More. And we want to give a shout out, a
Yes.
very important shout out to who?
Monique Coven.
Yes, Monique, thank you for introducing us. You are the best. You brought us together and said you gotta meet Lisa. You said the same thing to both of us because we're both named Lisa.
Yes.
Yes. And we're so glad you introduced us. We've been really good friends since.
Yeah.
And there's so many commonalities to our story. Which
So many.
I know, it's crazy. I was listening to another one of your interviews today, preparing. And I just started making a list. I'm like,
Wow.
oh, there's another one. Oh, there's another one. Crazy.
Amazing.
Right. And it's been so much fun to be in contact with you through the years and just watching you grow and watching you heal and watching the waves of healing go for you just like it does for me. And
Mhm.
we were just talking about, I mean, you're in Australia, I'm here in Indiana, wishing we were a lot closer together so we could.
No, not fair.
No, not fair. But I mean, we're as far away as we can be, but
Yeah.
feel very close in heart.
Yes, definitely.
Definitely.
Well, you're in my bedroom.
Yeah, right now you're in my study. So
Yeah.
here we go. We're
Let's
going
do
to
this.
look at things a little bit differently today. So I have this concept. So if everybody will bear with us, we're going to go on a little bit of an adventure. And I want to start with looking at the life of a survivor of SRA. So let's start with flashbacks.
Okay.
Flashbacks are hard.
They suck.
Yeah. To put it plainly, they suck. Yes, they do. I agree with you 100%. So the impact of it, can you explain just a little bit the intensity of a flashback?
For me, the intensity is physical, emotional, and spiritual. So it affects every single part of your body, mind, obviously. For me, it disrupts everything. Like people have different, obviously they have different ways it comes out. For me, it's usually bodily and I can't do anything. And it causes me to regress sometimes, and sometimes I can't get back out of it.
What do you mean by regress?
I don't know if we're talking I'll call it a flashback, but it's probably sometimes with flashbacks, mostly I will get snippets of memories as well. So it's just like a big mishmash. I feel like I'm in like a dryer, like being tumbled around and you're just like trying to make sense. So sorry, what did you say, Lisa?
So when you regress, do you feel like you're young again, like you're back
Yes.
in the memory?
I will sometimes even speak like a little girl. And a lot of people don't understand, like my husband and I have like got this down pat now, but it feels like I'm here, like the grown up Lisa is here, and that little girl who is experiencing the flashback or going through it feels like it's happening right now at that moment. And so I feel like I'm watching it like a movie happening, but I can't. If it's too far, if I get too far in, it can take 2 hours to get back. But I'm not unaware. I'm not totally like disassociated. I know what's happening mostly around me, but it's really sad to watch your loved ones watching you because they feel powerless. I don't feel powerless, but it makes me feel sad.
Were you always conscious of them when they're going on? Like in the early years, were you conscious?
No, not when it first happened. I didn't know what I didn't know what was going on.
Right.
I was like, what is this? So, yeah, as you
So it's
know, sorry, go.
so it's kind of been an evolution of it.
Yes, it's been over, what am I, 51? It's over 26 years, I guess, of it, of learning how we, I call it, this is how we do it. Everyone has another way, but it's how do we keep Lisa safe? How do we make sure that she doesn't feel like, she's crazy? Because that's what you just do. Like, and that is a big sign that it's actually real for me. But in the beginning, it wasn't. It was like, oh my gosh, am I crazy? Like, where did this come from? Why would that be? I wouldn't make that up. But yeah, so now, like I have had, if it's severe flashbacks, like, yeah, it could look like even like someone is like I'm having a seizure.
So your body's shaking.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And also like I know that you've shared stuff on here and people all go through it differently, but like I might wake up with bruises on my legs or something that were never there. So like the classic, the body keeps score, and it does because it's cellular. Like it is within our body. So those, like, I'll be like, why am I got bruises? Now I understand it. But back, maybe 10 or 15 years ago, I'd be like freaking out, going, that's connected to that memory. And my body is like, it's showing up in my body. So yeah,
Like the terror also is a big part of that. The terror that we had then
yes,
is coming out during these flashbacks.
correct. And for me, I don't know about you, Lisa, but like, I would always obviously disassociate, but I would just go quiet. So there would be whenever things were happening, I'd just go quiet, probably because to save our life, wouldn't argue, none of that. So when the flashback comes out, it's like that little girl who wanted to scream and yell and fight and run. That's what happens. Like, I'll try and run out of the house and they'll be like, "Oh no, we can't be doing that." But I mean, I can laugh about it, but it's not funny at the time. But I'm still, even though it's happening, I'm not unaware, but my body, everything in my body is just like, "Nope, we need to leave. We need to go." Even though it was a very long time ago that it happened.
Well, that need to run away is massive.
Yeah. Yeah, I've tried to unlock doors and they're like, "No, you can't go anywhere." So yeah, that's at the extreme when I've literally gone like fully into it, but it's not fun. And so we're talking about friendships. Like I don't have a lot of friends because for many reasons, but I feel like if my friends saw me like that, they would run a mile.
And how do you explain that to somebody new?
It's so hard to explain. Even now, like well, I'm explaining it to you who knows what it's like, but I just have to explain it as like very childlike. It's just like, well, you think of it as when you're a little kid, you're afraid, you're scared. So that's actually how I act. I'm just my body is older and I'm a grown woman. But yeah, but I have great support, and my children, I have 5, but 4 of them are still at home, and I don't like it, but they know what to do to calm me, to bring me back, if you wanna call it that. Yeah, they're amazing. My husband's amazing, which is not a normal thing. Like a lot of survivors, we don't have long relationships, and we've been married for 30 years. So
Congratulations.
in September. So yeah, we're getting there. I mean, October, sorry.
This is, your kids grew up seeing this. And so they've
They,
learned to.
well, we hid it for a long time, as much as possible, until they were teens, I guess. Until, yeah, it's like a ticking time bomb. You can't like just push it down, push it down. But because I wanted to be the perfect mum, I guess, and not be like what I grew up with. So I didn't want them to see that. But I think they're stronger for it. They're very, yeah, they're very empathetic. Yeah, they just get me. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't hide it from my kids because it would just explode out of nowhere. Grocery stores, church.
Church. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fun.
Oh, yeah. Church is a fun one.
Yeah, no, that wasn't fun when it would happen there. People would definitely like, oh, well, yeah, they would think it was something else mostly.
That's not good.
No. And so, yeah, so
So
like,
I know what you're talking about, but can you explain it to those that don't?
okay, so as we know, there's we're talking about SRA. So the aspects of that is demonic, obviously. It's the opposite to God. Um, I've never really wanted to know exactly what they believe in, because I just believe that's evil. So the end. But our little church journey was, yeah, it had okay, I'm trying to think of one specific. So Easter time, I remember going to Easter service, and I was still very raw, early days healing. I was probably about 25. So that was very early days for me, still having memories and stuff like that. And I felt like my legs were like lead. Like I couldn't walk into the auditorium. They had a big cross, the big wooden cross on the stage. I'm like, I can do this. There's everything in me that was like, no, no, we have to go. We're gonna run. So I just remember sitting in my seat and, shuffling around, and my pastor, who he's like a father figure to us. And it was all new for them as well. Like no one's trained like to know what SRA is. We were learning basically as, you know, we're having memories and stuff. So
Experiential learning, because there's nothing else out there back then.
there was nothing. Like I think there was one book that I could find, because this was probably, yeah, the early 2000s. So he would look over to me, and I'm like, can't sit in my seat, but to them it looked like, you know, demon,
Yeah.
demonic
And it's
stuff.
not. It isn't, to be clear, it's not.
No. Well, yeah, that like I had some stuff going on, but I don't like to really think about those days too much, because it's a fine line of like, do I believe that? Was that real, or was it just, me going through the motions of having a very, very big, like looking at that cross and being like, oh my gosh, like not logically really knowing why I'm feeling sick. I want to throw up. I want to run, all of those things. And so I did. So I'm in church, and people are like, let's pray for her. So would they pray for me and make it worse? I'd start screaming, and then yeah, it was not fun. Yeah. And, people looking on, it's just like, oh, this is a show for them. But it was like, it's horrific for you. Like, you just like, seriously, can you get me out of here? I don't want to be laying on the floor in front of the church.
Yeah. I like how you call it the little church journey, because we have them, and
I'm still healing from it.
yeah, they're painful. They're very,
It is
very,
very painful.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. So how when you have a typical, let's call them typical flashback, because there's a gamut from less severe to more severe. So let's just call it a typical flashback. How long will it take you to recover? So you have one in a day. How long to take in the impact of it and recover from it?
At least 2 weeks.
Okay, so we're giving people the scope of this thing. How many do you think you've had over your lifetime? I know it's just like random guess. Let's put a number out there.
500? I don't know.
I know it's
I don't.
I know it's a completely random guess, but I want to put the magnitude of what we're dealing with here.
Yeah.
And this is the life of an SRA survivor.
Yes, and we don't normally talk about that, so I do appreciate what you where you're going with this.
I want to give a picture. I want to paint a picture today.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
as you're dealing also with flashbacks, I mean, I'm assuming you started with sexual abuse
Correct.
and then it got eventually into SRA. And then as they continued, because you're in your 50s now, I'm in my 50s.
Yes.
Mine are getting, the themes are getting darker, more difficult to
Mhm.
handle.
Correct.
Same sort of thing for you.
Correct. Yeah. Mine have, I don't know, you can edit stuff out of it. Mine started off with, as you said, because sexual abuse, and that's pretty much most of us, it does when we recall, and you're like, "That's horrific." And then for me, it was a couple of years later, and yeah, and then I didn't know what SRA was. I didn't have words for it. It was just, yeah. And
Just
then
this
you're
is
like,
what I'm seeing. Don't know what it is, but this is what I'm seeing.
for me, it was seeing and writing because I've always been a writer. Like I love journaling and writing stuff. So it started off, I'd start writing and I'd be like, what am it was like I'm writing, talking to myself. Does that make sense? It was like, I don't know. I was diagnosed with, what is it, DID? But I don't really feel like that's a big thing for me anymore. But so it was probably like a part of me that little was like, I'm going to tell you a story. That's probably the simplest way that I could say it. And I'd read it and I'd be like, here, Shane, have a look at this. And he'd be like, what the? So it's basically, it was like putting a puzzle piece together and you just like, okay. So like you said, so as I've got older, I thought it will get better. Like I will have less memories. I will have less this and less that. And it's actually been the opposite. It's just been more me knowing how to handle myself better, how to look after myself over those 2 weeks. Lots of sleep, lots of, drinking water. Like it's a whole thing. But we don't, I love that you're saying, because we don't really talk about that side. And then for me, it's been new memories of like, so I was connected to this whole thing, which is I didn't realize, and it's really dark. Like it wasn't just in my family, it was extension. So it's just it blows your mind already, and you already blows up your whole thought of what your family was. And then you're like, God, it's even
Yeah.
worse than what I thought.
Now let me add this whole new
Yeah.
section. Yeah, this whole
And
new
and
thing.
and try and piece that to that other part. And you're like, I just don't know how that all goes together.
Yeah, like this flashback comes and you're like, this connects nowhere. This connects nowhere at all.
No, and it's really frustrating because I know you and I are very similar. I'm very logical. I like to work things out. And so I'll try and, because I always get very clear street names or, the state or all different stuff. And I'll be like, okay, I'll just Google it because I think, this is nuts. This can't be real.
Because it won't be there, right?
And then sorry, I won't swear on your podcast. Then this house will pop up and I'm like, that's the house. That's the house they took me to. How is this possible? How do I know in my brain like the street name and da 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 da? And you just can put it in Google Earth and it just pops up and you're like, okay, I don't know what to do with that. We'll write it down, we'll put it away, and then we'll wait for the next. It's like a bad movie that I didn't sign up for this.
You can't turn it off.
And I can't turn it off, no. And I wish I could. So when
Do you
when you
find
say, "I'm done," and
yeah.
then another one comes.
Do you find like I write more in my journal like themes, not specifics, but more themes of things. And so
Okay.
when a new thing comes up, I go and see, did I write about it this years ago? And so I'll
Yeah.
go back and I'm like, there it is. I did write about this. And it just blows my mind. It's like,
Yes. Well, yeah. No, I know what you mean. Wouldn't I love the theme thing. I have so many journals, and if I'm going through it, because I'll be like, "I think I wrote something like that," what you just said years ago, didn't make sense then, but now that person that I wrote that person's name, who is quite well known, which I thought, "No, that can't be. I'm crazy." And it pops up in a new memory, and it's like it's full color, and it's the smells, and it's the emotions, and it's everything, and you're like, "Well, I can't dismiss that."
and boy, you'd
And
like
then you
to.
just yes, very much so. And so, yeah, you've just gotta that is the process of like I don't think the process has ever changed when you get a new memory. I don't know about you, Lisa, but like I still go, that's crazy. Like that can't no,
Right.
that no.
You work on proving yourself wrong.
Correct.
Yes. Yeah. You end up validating it, but you try really, really hard to throw it out.
Super hard. And then you're just like, why am I still doing this 26 years on when I know that even if it doesn't make sense to me, I can't make this stuff up.
I know.
So
I had
I
one
wish I
recently and I didn't want it to come. So I decided I
yes.
wasn't going to sleep so I could control it, keep it from coming because I wasn't going to look at it. And
Yeah.
so I hardly slept for a couple weeks and then it just burst out. I knew it was going to happen. It burst out on its own while I was awake, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, I'm 56 years old. I know better. I've been doing this for
We
how long?
That's what I'm saying. Like we both know better, but it's funny, the other night, I think it was last week, I was going, when you're going into a dream, I don't know, dream state or something. Usually it happens to me usually when I'm about to go to sleep. Lately, when I was younger, and I could feel it. And my husband's, because I start twitching, my legs start. It's like I'm riding a bike, and he's like, he'll put his hand on me. He's like, "Are you right?" And I can't speak. I just can't speak. I'm like in my head. I'm like, nope, nope, not tonight, not tonight.
Yeah.
I am not having this tonight. So, not unlike you, I'm like, okay, it's going to come out some other way. Like, you can't run away from this.
Yeah.
So, my body is just exhausted. So, it'll just go, okay, I'm going to get you anyway. I'm just going to exhaust you, like, even more than normal.
But it's not going to come out by our choice saying, oh, yeah, just tell me what you want me to know. No,
I'm literally like bargain with God. I'm like, I think I have enough. I think we're good. I'm
I
done.
agree. I agree. Let's write an article about that.
Can we?
Yeah,
I am
I think we
so
can.
done.
I don't know who'll publish it, but we'll just put it out ourselves.
Yeah, sounds good. We're done. We're good.
Okay, we're so done. We're done with flashbacks. All right, let's move
Correct.
on to
Let's go.
triggers,
Oh, yay!
which, I mean, They're a lot like flashbacks.
Very similar, yes.
So what are they like for you?
I spend a lot of time at home because I get very overwhelmed and I worry that something if I go to the shops or something, I'm like, if I see a face that looks similar to one of my abusers, I'm out of there. That's a trigger.
So what will happen if you get triggered?
I will shake, physically shake. And then I feel embarrassed because I don't want anyone to see me. We like to be in control because we never had control. So that's a thing. So I'm like, okay, I need to get to a safe space where no one can see me. No one's looking at me. No one cares. I
Well,
know
you
that
figured
logic.
that out. I'm still convinced they're looking at me.
Well, when it happens, I'm not thinking that.
What? Oh, okay.
The
You
ones
write
that
that
kind of
down.
come,
Lisa, they're not looking at you.
no, they don't actually care about you. They're busy doing their shopping and they're doing this and that and whatever. But like in my mind, everybody's looking at me. And I'm like, so that exasperates it. And then I'm like, I'm not going out for like, then I'll stay at home for months. You know, I don't go anywhere. So that's the way a trigger affects me.
Yeah.
And
So
yeah,
faces, what else triggers? Do you know?
well, unfortunately for me, I mean, I'm safe. I have a house that I love. I've got, a beautiful family and stuff. But where I live, I have to sometimes drive past the area where I was abused.
Wow. That's tough.
So, and churches, we just touched on that a little bit. We've got a lot around where we live. Going past them, like, it's so weird because even if that person had absolutely nothing to do with anything, abuse wise, what we're talking about, SRA, it's the fact that they were there when I was having my, going through the process of. So if I see their church, which is sometimes we have to drive past, and I'm like, oh, like I won't physically. No one else probably will know that I'm having a trigger, but my whole body is like, oh,
Sure.
I don't want
Yeah.
to know. I don't want to see. Yeah. I don't know if that answered your question.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's
So I
easier
still,
to stay home.
yeah, I think that's a big, which is, something I have been working on the last week of just getting out and walking around. And I feel so much better, obviously. But I was such a social person. Like, even when I was going through that, I'd be out and, have a million children, so you can't stay at home all the time. But
Yeah.
I guess now they're because they're grown up and they don't need me in that respect. It's become like, okay, I don't need to go out and fight these triggers.
Right.
I can stay at home. Yeah. But it could be, even like a TV show or something like that. Like something could come on and I'm like, fast forward.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't need to see that. Yeah.
So it really impacts the life of a survivor.
Yeah. Now I'm talking about it out loud. It's a lot.
Yeah. Absolutely. For all of us. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't work. So that's a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Moving on.
Moving on.
What kind of medical conditions that you're comfortable sharing have
Correct.
been impacted by the trauma?
I don't know what you would call it, but I've had it pretty much all my life. It's called irritable bowel syndrome. So I have severe, like stomach pain. It just affects. I won't go into details in that, but it's unpredictable and it's not. And I know it's a direct. I always knew before they came out and said, that's your second brain. And I always knew that, like as a younger woman, and I'd be like, if I had to go to visit my abusers when I hadn't cut contact, I would be so sick. physically sick. And that's when I knew. I was like, every time I'm near them or if I have to like be in contact with them, I would just feel sick. My whole body like would shake. So there's that. Now I'm getting older, just pain, physical pain in my back from what they did to me when I was, in the rituals and stuff. I get a lot of, is it somatic? I think it's somatic, like
Sure.
just pain.
Absolutely.
So like I definitely have what you would I didn't realize it too recently, which is weird. I think that everything, every little thing, I'm dying. So it's like a is it health anxiety? They call it, fancy name. Everything. Like if I have a headache or an ache somewhere random, I'm dying. That's it. So that's a result of, like, I logically know I'm not. That's straight away where my brain goes to.
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's it. And my husband will talk me off the ledge. Like, no,
Yeah.
you've had this thing for so many years, you're not dying. I'm like, well, I better make an appointment with my doctor to make sure. But yes, I've had lots of physical pain is a big thing.
And that's the pain, I think, is the toughest part of being a survivor.
Yes, because then that triggers you because it reminds us of when we were little. For me personally, like I blocked out pretty much all my childhood until I recalled it when I was 24. But I remember going to school and being like, oh, my back is so sore, like I can barely walk, like, it's primary school. And I was like, why am I in so much pain? So I do remember those, sitting in and very good at hiding it. I'm not great. I'm not so great at hiding it anymore, though. I'm getting less good at doing that.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
don't you think those triggers lead to the memory where
Yes.
you could have died or maybe did?
Correct. Yes, I have.
I mean, it's all connected. It all makes so much sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. It totally makes sense. The times where I'd be sitting in class and thinking, I feel sick. And then I'd have to run to the toilet. And you'd be like, and then you go back to that around that time and that date was when they did this, 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 and this to me. So that makes sense.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on. Family and friends that have been found in our life to be dangerous. They've betrayed us, so we've had to distance them, move them out of our life for safety.
Yes.
A
Where do we start?
Well, I wanted to start with this wonderful story that I love when you went to confront your stepdad, your mom's husband. I
I love
love
that
this story.
story.
I was sharing it with my husband today, and I'm like, I just want you to know how easy you had it when we went to confront my dad. You have no idea.
I just snorted. Oh my gosh. See, this is why we need to be closer. Oh gosh.
There's
See, this is
options on the table I didn't know I had.
you had options, Lisa. So many.
Really sad about it.
I know. No, I'm sad for you because
I know.
I never feel like I have to be careful what I say. I feel like so grateful for that moment.
I'm just so proud of you.
I'm proud of me too. I just, it was the best. People are like, what was the best day of your life? That is definitely one of them. It's way up there.
Would you please
Yes.
share this story with us?
Of course. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Now, okay. So everyone that watches Beautiful Lisa and listens to all of her amazing guests knows that we have dark sense of humor. So please don't take that as me being flippant, but I have to laugh because it is funny. But it was also very cathartic. So here goes, guys. I'll try to do the short version. because you've already listened to it.
Nope,
So
take
this
take your time, take us on the journey with you.
okay. Well, I love telling my stories, so here we go. So this would have been when I was literally it was literally when I was having my remembering. I'll just say remembering. And back then I was 24. Yeah. I had just had my son, and so that was a big trigger. And he was 18 months old, and we were saving for a house, and I was working. It was doing way too much. Crazy time, but it was, that's what you do when you're young. And I was living with my in-laws, and I already didn't have a great relationship anyway with my mum, and I call him the saddest, as you know. Don't give him any title other than that. That's all he deserves. So they live where I live in the same state, sorry, at that time.
And you were dealing with sexual abuse at this point, correct?
Correct. And it was because the memories were coming like super fast and super like crazy. Like I would have, I don't know, I can't remember if we've talked about it between us. Like I would have them for like 4 hours or 8 hours, like nonstop. And I just wouldn't stop. So I'd be like I couldn't work. I had to stop working for a little while. I was hospitalized. So I'm just giving a little bit of a background of how and why I did what I did. So I'd been hospitalized twice within 2 months, not because I'm crazy, but because it was just too much. I was just like, I'm tapping out. I can't do this. And so, but on top of what happens when you start to remember, there's so much anger, like, and rage, I would probably say now. So much rage was building, and because I was like, he has stolen so much of my life. Like he's stealing it right now. Like I can't work. I can't mother as well as I want to. My husband is like worried about me nonstop. So I was just like so angry. So angry. Like they're sitting there in their nice little house doing whatever, like, living their lovely little life. Well, that's how it felt at the time. We both know that they don't do that. So one night I just snapped, and I often do this. I'm not. When I decide to do something, you can't stop me. I'm like, it's like you can like try to rationalize it. I'm like, nope, 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 nope. Just don't try to talk me out of it. So this particular night, I don't know if I'd had memories that day, but I was like, so I'm just sick of it. I grabbed I grabbed back then with the house that we lived in, people would like often try to rob around the area that we live. So we had like sticks that you put in the window so no one can open the windows. So I was very calm. I would just go really calm when when I'm raging. So I was very calm, and I said to my husband, "Can you get your mum and dad to watch my son, our son? I won't say his name because he's older and privacy and all that. Can you just get them to watch him?" And I was just very calm and collected. And he's like, yeah, why? Were we going somewhere? I was like, yep. So I just got dressed, grabbed the stick. He's like, what do you need that for? I was like, oh, I'm just going to my mum's and his house. Can you drive me? And he's like, no, it was like probably 7 o'clock at night. He's like, no, we're not doing that. I was like, yeah, we are. We can't do that, Lisa. I think no, I hadn't been to the police yet. Maybe, no, I hadn't been to the police yet. But because I'd always blocked his face out through all the memories, and then when the memories came up, I saw his face. And that's
I
when
did the
I
same thing with my dad.
yeah. But I did know it was him, but I needed proof, and I would never, ever do anything. Like I was like, I'm not going to accuse anybody until I can see their face. So that was always a thing. So I was like, once I knew, I was like, I know, But I also, in the back of my head, I was like, I just want him to see my face. And I want to look in his eyes, and then I'll know that I know that I'm not crazy, that he actually did do this. So get in the car. And at the time, my other abuser was living here, and I hadn't remembered what he had done to me as a child. And he was playing the game. He was trying to be the, what do you call it? The savior, I call it. Oh, I'll look after you. Yeah. So I knew where he was staying at the time. So I was like, let's pick him up on the way. He's my actual dad, my biological dad. He'll want to come for sure. Because they were all friends. They weren't at that point, obviously. And my dad knew that I was having memories and stuff. And he's like, okay. So, looking back now, it's very weird. But so I made him get in the car. I said, you're coming with me. And I was never I was like very quiet, shy. That's the way they told me that I was. But everything changed once I started to remember. I was like, that's not who I am. I'm confident. I'm strong. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so my personality changed, and they were all like, all the family is like, oh, that's not Lisa. Like, that's not you. Yeah. So, so I couldn't change, like, no, I'm not driving you there. We're driving. So we pick my dad up on the way. We drive to the house, but it's like gated. So we had to park the car, and I was so calm. It was scary, probably.
Poor Shane.
Yeah, I know. I was just gonna say Shane was just like used to me like screaming and yelling and doing whatever. And here I am, calm as. And he's just like, ugh. And I can't remember them talking to me because I was just like on a mission, and we had to walk up the road and all that kind of stuff. And it was just they had their curtains closed, and I didn't have a plan. There was no plan. Like I was just like, I just need to see his face. That was it. That was the only plan. It's like, great, they're home. So knock, 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 knock on the window. It was like you have sliding doors, like big doors. So it's not like yeah. So she opened the door. My mother, shouldn't really call her that, but I don't want to swear on here. She opened the door, and she thought that I was coming to apologize, because that's what I would do. I got into a cycle of like, oh, I've upset my mom again by, asking too many questions. But at this point, she hadn't seen me for probably a year, and I had made no contact with her. So they didn't know anything what I was doing. So I'm like, knock, knock, knock. And so Shane was like behind me, and so was my dad. He was off they're both kind of beside me-ish, but behind me. And at that point, because I'd lost a lot of weight just because, just from the stress of it. So I was quite tiny, but I was like, I felt like I was like Superwoman. And so my mum, as she opened the door, I grabbed it as well and just ripped it right back. And I won't say it on here, but I said, very loudly, and I never would swear in front of my mother or anybody, where is your effing husband? And it wasn't a very big house. Like, I could hear him. It was like 2 or 3 stairs up, and she was in the lounge room, and her eyes went black. And that used to happen when we were little kids. And she was just like, and so that triggered me, but was in a different way, triggered anger. And because she thought, oh, she's here to be nice. But then once I said that, she was like, went into that scary zone. But I wasn't scared of her. She was just kind of like, oh, she's off to the side. I don't care about her. I don't want to, like, she's whatever. I want him. So he started coming. I could hear him coming because I must have been screaming and stuff. I was trying to keep the door open because my mum wouldn't let me. I wanted to come inside. I was like, I'm going to smash the house up. I was just so angry. And the first thing he said, which you know, was, I never touched her. Keep in mind, I just got goosebumps, I always do. I didn't say anything, that I hadn't accused him of anything that they knew of at this point. I hadn't made any contact for at least a year, so there was nothing. I was just turning up out of the blue. So as soon as he said that, that was like everything for me, because I thought I was crazy. Like I thought, no, he couldn't have. It was just that, battle still. So he came down the stairs, and when he said that, I kind of looked at Shane. I just was like, get out of my way. Let me go. Don't touch me. I don't want anyone to. I grabbed him, saddest, and I kicked him right where it hurts. Very hard. It was awesome.
Yes.
And
I
he was a
love
big
it.
guy, like tall and big, obviously bigger than me. But I was like, I swear I could have knocked him out. Like that's how much. And my mom, I just was like so focused on him, and he's looking in like we're like this close, face to face, and I knew, and he knew that I knew then, and game was over, totally
Yes.
over,
Yes.
and it was fabulous.
Yes.
So yes, my mum was like crying or whatever. I can't really remember. And I was just like, ugh. I was still trying to open the door, and eventually they got it closed, and they're like, we're going to call the police. And I'm like, please do. Call them. I need to tell them something.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. You would have a lot to tell them.
I have, yes. And then I did go, and I think, I don't know if it was the next day, and reported him. But yeah. But no, like we sat and waited for a good half an hour to wait. We waited for the police to come. They didn't come. So Shane said, well, you have to go home now. But I forgot the part. He didn't let me bring the stick. So no, I didn't use the stick, anybody. So I wouldn't advise to do that.
Well, I feel like you did it for us all, honestly.
It was just fabulous.
So thank you. Honestly, I am thanking you, and not in jest, but in all sincerity.
I know. Yeah.
Well,
It was, yeah, well done me.
but
That's a good memory.
yeah, but also you realized, what side was your mom on?
Oh, she was always on his.
Always on his. And then what about your biological dad? How did he respond that night?
Yeah, that was interesting. My biological dad he's a narcissist. He was always very verbal and very loud. And if anyone does anything to you, Lisa, I'll kill them. And, he had shotguns and stuff like that. And he would always tell me that. And so because they had all been friends, they all knew each other very well. That's a whole nother, as you know, it's a whole nother story for another day. He was quiet. And so looking back, I was like, why is he so quiet? Like he didn't even yell. Like a normal father who knew like I had told him explicitly when I was having memories, Dad, this is what he did to me. I didn't hold back because I wanted him to know, obviously. And so when I looked back and I was like, hang on a minute, if Shane would have like beat the crap out of him, do you know what I mean? Like if that was, yeah, his child, nope, he just stood there. I was like, so later on when I got memories about him, I was like, oh, that made sense. But what he did do, which was very sneaky, the next day he said, I'm going to go to the, I don't know, photocopy his face and put pictures up of him and say, this guy is a pedophile or whatever. The saddest. That's what my dad said to me. And he said, but I'm going to wear rubber gloves, which was very bizarre. and I'll put them up all around where they live. Yeah, I've never said that part.
Gloves. Rubber. So, like, nobody can say that he was the one that put it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my dad's not that smart. Like, I was like, "Hang on a minute." Even at the time, Shane and I were like, "Just put them up. Why do you have to wear rubber gloves?" Anyway, this was weird. And I was like, Yeah, whatever." I didn't really care because I was like, I think the whole street would have heard me anyway.
Yeah. So that
Doesn't
one
matter.
night, you got a pretty good view of all 3 of them.
I did.
That
It
had
was
to
like
be very painful.
it was, but it wasn't. My mum my mum and I yeah, I would for always like she was the first person I said as when I was 12 years old, I said someone came into my room and blah blah blah. She's like, "Oh no, you just dreamt it." So I always knew that she wouldn't have my back. So I kind of felt like, you know what? Now I know who you really are, and I don't want to have anything to do with you. You will not see my This is all in my head, but you will not see my family. She'd never seen me pregnant ever. She only got to see one of her grandchildren. She didn't deserve it. So, yeah. So that was it. That was the night I was like, done. Cut.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, it is painful, but the painful thing is that when you have your like good friends and stuff who actually have decent families and you're like, "Oh, well, my kids never got to have grandparents like that or, family like that, cousins and stuff like that." But I wouldn't change it
How
because
did you explain it to your kids?
from when they were little, because age appropriate, of course, because it was a process. Like when I realized my dad, that was later on. So my eldest son and my eldest daughter had contact with my dad. I never would let them sleep over with him, though. I couldn't explain why. So that's how our blow up happened because he wanted to take them somewhere and I was like, "No." And he's like, "Why?" And I said, "Just no." I didn't have the words. I didn't have the memories. My body was like, you know, all the red flags are going off and everything's beeping. I'm like, "No." So, so for my children, um, I'd just be like, "You won't be seeing him anymore because he did bad things to your mum when she was little." And yeah, and then as they've grown older, unfortunately and fortunately, they do know more details. And you know what? They are like, I would call us like mama bears. I think if they ever come across them, my family would be in big trouble because my kids would
Yeah.
just be like,
Yeah. Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So I never ever kept it from them. I was just like, I hate secrets. I'm a big justice person, girl. Always have been. I think that's just who I would have been even if I hadn't been abused. It's just, in my DNA.
Right.
So yeah, so I was just like, no. People would be like, "You told your children?" I'm like, "Well, yeah." I don't want them to think that their mother's a liar or she doesn't, like I want them to feel safe. Like want them to know that this is the reason why. Don't have to go into explicit detail, but
Right.
they need to know they haven't done anything wrong
Right.
for yeah. So yeah,
Otherwise,
cutting
they
them
think we were absolutely crazy.
and that too.
I mean, look at all the other pieces we're laying out here. I mean, they know something is going on.
Yeah, and kids and as we both know, children are not they are so aware. Like they are not silly. And so I took that on. I was like, I'm not gonna I was like yourself, like most survivors, like we're treated like we're stupid. Like, we're not stupid. And so I'm never going to treat my children like that. So yeah, that's the short version. And yeah,
All of
they
these
saw,
things are short versions. I want people to understand that about you.
yes,
You
very
are
short.
giving the short version of every one of these answers.
Oh my gosh. As you know, there's so many layers that we could talk about, and it would be too long.
Oh, this would be a weeks long interview, which
It would
maybe we should consider.
we can do week song. I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, we can do it. That'd be fun. Our husbands might be in here breathing down or what? Well, who
Yeah, I know.
knows? Here- why- We're going to take a pause, and we're going to
Sorry.
pause this interview for part 1, and we're going to come back for part 2 so that we can continue this, because we got a lot farther to go. We're having way too much interesting conversation here. So, Lisa, will you come back and do another interview with us?
Most definitely.
All right. Thank you. So you hang on, and we will do a part 2 with Lisa. Thank you for being here.
Only God could rescue me. Only God could set me free. Only God.